may have heard that Littleton is exploring the renovation, addition, or replacement of the Shaker Lane Elementary School in partnership with the Massachusetts School Building Authority, or MSBA. The MSBA process is like a marathon. It takes persistence, endurance, and a dedicated program that takes years to achieve. This short video summarizes the first leg of this marathon, which started in 2022 when Littleton Public Schools was accepted into the program. We'll show the opportunity Littleton has to secure tens of millions of dollars in MSBA funding for the project, detail the physical need for a renovation, addition, or replacement of the Shaker Lane Elementary School, explain how a Shaker Lane project could benefit the entire community of Littleton, not just our youngest students, and how you can engage the process, and provide a timeline of the MSBA process with key dates of approval. Littleton has a rare opportunity to fund a Shaker Lane construction project with the MSBA. The MSBA is a state agency that helps local school districts pay for the design and construction of schools. It's competitive and needs-based. When Shaker Lane was accepted into the program in 2022, it was one of only 17 projects across the Commonwealth selected in that round. MSBA's acceptance rate for projects like this can be as low as 10 to 15%. The work is tough, but the payoff is significant. By completing the MSBA Marathon, Littleton will unlock tens of millions of dollars in grants that won't come out of our local property tax assessments. Upon being selected, Littleton spent the first year of the process meeting eligibility requirements like forming a school building committee of school administrators, town officials, and volunteers. It then selected an owner's project manager, or OPM, to help guide the district through the process. One of the OPM's first tasks is to help the school building committee select a designer for the project, establishing a project team. The project team then begins a feasibility study to determine Littleton's physical and educational needs to deliver a next-generation education to our youngest learners at Shaker Lane, and whether those needs call for renovation, addition, or replacement of the school. Littleton Public Schools applied for MSBA funding for the Shaker Lane Elementary because the building has been stretched to its limits. The building's components not only require a major overhaul, but the existing space cannot deliver the type of education or programming we envision for our young people. The original Shaker Lane was built in 1959, then added onto in 1962, then renovated and added onto again in 1998. Its components date back to each of these time periods, including boilers and double-pane windows from 1998, electrical panels that are maxed out with no available breakers, which limits the HVAC system where the school has had to disrupt learning to move students around the building on hot days. An even bigger limit at Shaker Lane is the physical space, where breakout and other needs-based programs often have to take place in the hallways. Special education services take place in inadequate shared spaces. An old stage serves as a place for music classes and a storage area, because the old storage areas are now used as offices. The classrooms themselves are smaller than current standards recommend and have no room for interactive technology. All of these limitations impact our students' learning and work production, and there's not enough space to deliver the type of collaborative learning, one-to-one intervention, and project-based learning that would give our youngest learners the highest quality education. At Littleton Public Schools, we believe the opportunity to renovate, add on to, or replace Shaker Lane is not just an opportunity to improve education for our students. It's also an opportunity for our entire community to benefit from the project. Here are just some examples. How can we design the building to provide public access, both during and outside of regular school hours? What amenities could the building have that residents and community organizations could use? And how can we maximize safety and improve traffic flows on and around the school site? These questions can be answered best with the entire town of Littleton's input. Every step of this process will use a number of ways to gather public feedback to ensure anyone in our community who wants to engage can and will be heard. The first leg of Littleton's MSBA Marathon began with a statement of interest in 2021. The feasibility study stage includes a preliminary design program where the school building committee takes stock of its needs, both physical and educational. Feasibility concludes with a preferred schematic report, choosing between renovation, addition, and replacement, as well as proposing a site, which the MSBA must approve. If the MSBA authorizes the project to move forward, the project team and building committee begin the second leg of the MSBA Marathon, schematic design. This is where site details, building design, and renderings become detailed enough to produce a project scope and budget estimate, with hard numbers on the total cost of the project, as well as determining the portions that would be paid for with MSBA grant money and with local tax dollars. This second leg of the MSBA Marathon concludes and can only move forward with town approval. We anticipate a town meeting and town election in spring of 2025 to ask the community for approval of the project scope and budget. If approved by Littleton's residents, the third leg of the marathon includes final design, bidding, and construction of the Shaker Lane project, with the goal of completion in summer of 2029. In Littleton Public Schools, we commit as a district to evolve together as a diverse community through education, accountability, and compassion. And we want the Shaker Lane project to reflect these values. We've set up a Shaker Lane project webpage on the Town of Littleton website. This is where to go for every detail, archived meeting, and notices for future meetings and public gatherings to share your feedback.